Hello, and welcome back to the ASJ Podcast. Today, it's just going to be me and Mason back again. It's been 2 episodes where we've had other people come on, and just the ASJ boys again. So, today, the main talking points are going to be about the NFL and the current state of the NHL. So I think we should just get right into it. My first talking point is which teams in the NFL will underperform and which ones will overperform. I think teams that are going to underperform are the Ravens are probably going to underperform. I don't think Lamar Jackson's as good as people make him out to be. I know you love hearing that since you're a Steelers fan, but I think the Redskins are going to do worse. They're going to do worse than they did last season.
Okay.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, Redskins.
The Redskins probably need to get rid of that name. I don't know. There's just a lot of... I feel like there's just... And I think even the name might have something to do with it. There's just been a lot in the front office about it. They're not looking at their players. None of their players, they've been known to have bad injuries in the past. So I don't think the Redskins are going to do that good. They're going to finish. They're not getting a 6-win season. At most, they're getting 5-12 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants. It's just.
They lost Odell.
Yeah, they did lose Odell. They got Daniel Jones as QB. They're probably still going to start Eli Manning over Daniel Jones, which is horrible for a 6th overall pick when ESPN was projecting him as a mid to late 2nd round pick. So, I don't see what New York Giants is. I don't see what they're going for there.
It's like Senators of football.
Yeah. They used to be good, and now they're just garbage. They don't have a team. Saquon's probably the only one there that's good, and now it used to be Eli, who used to not throw picks as much, and then Saquon, who can run it, and OBJ. He's gone. Saquon is still in his prime. Saquon's only going to get better from here. He's already a top 5 running back in the league, and he's heading into a sophomore year. And Eli Manning's just horrible. They finished 3-13 last season. So, I just don't see the Giants getting anywhere. Mason, what do you think?
Who I think will overperform is, of course, the Steelers, because they didn't make the playoffs, and because of bad play in the Ravens and Browns. And is that better?
Yeah. I think the Bengals could actually shock them to a few people.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of Fontaze Burfict, which I don't think is the right decision. I think he was a star player not a star player, but Andy Dalton, when he's healthy, is a decent quarterback. He's not the worst. There's definitely way worse quarterbacks. I might put him over Marcus Mariota. So, I'm definitely over. I don't know who I'd put him over. I'd put him over Jameis Winston.
I think the reason, I'm not just saying because one player makes the team, but I think the reason why the Steelers didn't make it to the playoffs is because we didn't have Shazier. Because if Burfict hurt him.
Yeah, that. Shazier was a part of that franchise. I really wish they made a playoff push last year, because they definitely. I think if the Steelers made it to the playoffs, I think they would have made it to the AFC Championship.
Mm.
They proved that they could beat Patriots, and even though that might have taken all of their strength out of the team, they still beat them. They still beat Brady. I mean, Tom Brady is still the top 2 quarterback. It's probably Patrick Mahomes, then Brady. In my personal opinion. I mean, Mahomes last year was obviously his breakout season. It's going to be hard to see. We all know he's going to be great in the future. But if he can keep this pace, then I don't know. Brady, we can consider him the GOAT. I think it's fair to consider Brady the GOAT right now. But Pat Mahomes, at the way he's going, is definitely... Pat Mahomes, at the speed he's going right now, will be the GOAT. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people can agree with me on that.
Yeah.
So what teams are going to underperform, Mason?
Underperform. Okay. Where are you going?
Gonna close the door.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Underperform. I think that the, Can I say overperform?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that the Packers will do better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. David Bakhtiari.
Because it was...
Could become a franchise player.
Mm-hmm. And Rodgers, after last year, that was he recovering from injury.
Yeah, I mean, on our ASJ Instagram, I'm counting down the top 50 players in the NFL right now. And I have Rodgers. Let's see where I put Rodgers. I think I put him as either 8 or 12. I know that. I put him as 8. Yeah. So, I have Aaron Rodgers over Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. Like, those are the next 3 quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So, I think Aaron Rodgers isn't the GOAT anymore. You can't consider him in the GOAT conversation anymore. A couple years ago, you might have been, I don't know, he might have. But now, he's definitely out of the GOAT conversation. That's another team.
I think that the Eagles were underperformed because they got rid of Foles. Yeah. And at the end, they weren't that great until like near the end of the season. They put in Foles, and then that pushed them to the playoffs.
The thing about where Nick Foles went is the Jaguars. And Blake Bortles desperately needed to get out of that. He wasn't good there. He had one season there where they made it to the AFC Championship, and they blew it. He choked. I don't think Blake Bortles isn't going to recover from last season. I believe last season they either went, did they go 3-13 or 4-12? I don't know. But no, they were the shell of who they were in 2017.
If you were to say football, which team would you least think of?
I always don't include Raiders. I usually don't think of the Raiders. Don't think of the Titans that much. Neither the Buccaneers.
Mine are probably... Don't really think of the Cardinals.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Definitely Buccaneers. I forget about them.
I only think of Cardinals when I think of old teams. Like late thousands. That's who I think of.
New York Jets also,
I forget the Jets are a team, yeah.
I remember, just because they have Bell now, but it's,
yeah.
If I say, name as much football teams as you can and admit it, I probably will forget about them.
Yeah. I used to not think of the Chargers, and then Phillip Rivers had his great season this year. And now, when they were in San Diego, they were trash. Then they moved to LA and got good.
Lions.
Yeah, this brings me to my next point. Who is the next team that could go 0-16? we all know the Browns went 0-16 2 seasons ago. The only team to do that beforehand was the Lions. And before last season, I was thinking the Browns could easily do it again, and the Lions can easily do it again. Matthew Stafford is horrible. He's not in the top 10 not top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Maybe not even top 15. You forget the Detroit Lions are a team.
The only reason why I remember him is because my friend's a fan of him. That's the only reason.
Who will be the next 0-16 team?
If I were to pick one off the top of my head, possibly New York Giants.
See, I mean, that could be a very real possibility, but I think they're in a process of a rebuild, and that's what the Browns were showing, and they got their way. The Browns got it. So I don't think the Giants will necessarily go 0-16, but I think the Raiders will go 0-16. And they might even go 0-16 this season. Mm-hmm. It's just...
Also, the Dolphins.
Yeah, a lot of people... I think the Dolphins are going to do a lot better than people think. Mm-hmm. They're not the worst team. Their QB situation's pretty bad. But if they get a QB in there, they're good.
They get Ryan Fitzpatrick, how he did really good at the beginning of the year with Buccaneers, and then when the Steelers beat them, they only won 1 or 2 games after that.
I mean, they always get a win at home against the Patriots, so that's one win right there. The 3 teams I think are gonna overperform are Panthers, Bengals, and Texans. I heard this a couple of days ago on ESPN that the Texans could very well become a Super Bowl champion. They had the pieces to win it this year. And I don't necessarily think that's true. I think if Brady retires and the Texans still have relatively the same team they do now, then yes. If let's say Brady gets a freak injury this year, and then the field's wide open, the Patriots aren't making the playoffs. They lost Gronkowski to retirement. No one saw that coming. But, I mean, if the Patriots lose Brady, which they probably will within the next 3 years, I think the Texans definitely could win it within the next 5.
Mm-hmm. I think the Browns will have a winning record.
Yeah.
If they beat the Ravens in that last game, they would have
8-8, right?
Yeah,
no,
they had a tie game.
Yeah, so it'd be 8-9-1, right? No, it'd be.
Yeah, I think they're 7-1 going into that game.
Or 7-8-1 going in. Or no,
I think they were
7. They were 7-7 going in, so they would have been 8-7-1.
Yeah, and they would have had a winning record, but they lost. So yeah, I do think they will get a winning record.
Yeah, and the Panthers. The only thing they did last year wrong was they got on that really bad streak. And Cam Newton, when he plays well, he's top 7 QB, top 6 maybe. I mean, he led that team in Super Bowl 50. Probably one of the worst Super Bowls before this year's. It's just now that Broncos team is horrible. Broncos are not good. They have such a rich legacy, such a rich history, and they've just ruined it. Von Miller's the only player worth mentioning on that team.
Also, team that you can forget is the Bills.
But the Bills are underrated. Everyone underrates the Bills. And
they made it to the playoffs 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, and they put up a fight against Jacksonville. It was 13-10, I think. So it was not a landslide at all. It was a very close game. I remember watching that Texas Roadhouse in Seaford. Oh yeah. So the NFL recently proposed an 18-game season, 18-game season with 16 games max for a player. Yeah. So, you don't think that's a good idea? I don't think it is either. Whoever came up with that idea is not good. It's not good. There's no point. That's like, there's a preseason for a reason. You're just adding on 2 more weeks of preseason. Like, that's it. Because they're not, they're gonna not play their best. They're not gonna play their best against a bad team. And a team has to go 18-0. Then there's no, a team is not gonna go 18-0. If a player can't play 2 games. Look at the Patriots. Brady's been carrying that team on his back for years, for a decade now. And Gronkowski came and helped. He's probably one of the best tight ends in history. But, I mean, if they lost Tom Brady for 2 games in the season, that could be bad. And I think it's just a really bad idea. And I don't know, if it's passed or not. I haven't really looked into it that much. But it's a laughingstock. It's just, don't. We've had the 16-0 for what? How many years now? At least 10, maybe 20. Not 100% sure. But don't. That's such a bad idea. Going into the NHL, what teams... Oh, yeah. Also, I'm going to say, closing statements for the NFL. Do you have any? You don't have any? Okay, well, I have one, and, I think Kyler Murray is going to be a bust. I don't think he's going to play that well in the NFL. I mean, the last player I can remember that played football and baseball was Russell Wilson, and he's become top 5 QB, but I just don't see it happening for Kyler Murray. I don't. He's got a bad team behind him in Arizona. Also, AB's career is over. Antonio Brown's career is over. He's not getting any better. Oh, yeah, the Raiders, I guess, have AB now, but that doesn't matter. Okay, going into the NHL, what teams will surprise us and make the playoffs?
Sens. It's going to be the biggest surprise.
Why do you think... What makes the Sens?
Because they traded all their players.
They just traded...
They literally traded all their good players. I'm going to look up their roster.
I think Arizona will make the playoffs. Minnesota can make it. I honestly forget the Wild are a team half the time. I do not... This is a hot take. I do not think Nashville is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. They lost PK. What about the Devils? Do you think they're going to make it with all their people? Their goaltender, if they had a good goaltender, they would easily be, almost...
contending for the Eastern Conference, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, give the... I know in 2 years, the Devils will definitely be in the playoffs. I know that. Next year, this upcoming season, I don't know. Honestly, it could go either way. If they do qualify, they're either a 3 seed or a wild card. They're not getting a 1 or 2 seed. Mm-hmm. This is one, and it kind of hurts me to say this as a Vegas fan, but I think Vegas can miss the playoffs if they don't play it right. Because last season, at the beginning, they were trash. It was they were just
second to last. Last?
Yeah.
A bit?
Yeah. And then they came back. I mean, Vegas, I'm trying to think of, a team. I don't know. They're kind of like the Rockets. No, the Rockets play for the regular season. I mean, they play for the off season, or they play for the postseason. Vegas, and it kind of proved that it worked in 2018 when they won the Western Conference in their inaugural year. But the Pacific is stacked now. The Anaheim has some backup. The LA Kings, if Drew Doughty plays okay and Alex Turcotte plays okay, they can definitely make it. San Jose might win it. My favorite to win is San Jose right now. San Jose or Washington. I think the Rangers will miss the playoffs. A lot of people think the Rangers are going to make it, but I don't. Do you think the Rangers are making the playoffs?
No. I think they'll be, they won't be, second or last in the Metro, but they'll be, right outside of the playoffs.
Like 1 or 2 spots away from the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about Buffalo?
Oof. You see, if they just continued the way they were, who knows where they would have ended up.
At the beginning of the season, yeah.
Who knows where they would have ended up at the start. And sometimes you just get a really easy opening. Some teams just don't know how to open the season. Some aren't really knowing some, you know what I mean. Like some just push full force at the start, and some wait until the end of the season, like Vegas or St. Louis. And I think Buffalo is definitely one of those teams. So if Buffalo changes their strategy, doesn't go headfirst into the season, then yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs. If Rasmus Dahlin is okay, yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
This one is kind of sad, but are we headed towards a potential lockout?
Eventually, we're gonna get another one.
I mean, yeah.
But I say in in the 20s, 2020s. Definitely by then.
So you think it's gonna happen within the next 5? Do you think it's gonna happen within the next 5?
5? Probably 5. 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I don't think it'll be 5. I give it 8 or 9. But yeah, we're definitely headed towards a lockout. Where will Mitch Marner land?
I think he'll stay with the Leafs because
that's what I put.
They traded Marleau to get the cap space.
Yeah.
Because he on NHL 19 he's $4 million. So yeah, and plus he's getting old anyway, so he's probably gonna retire soon. So there's really no point of keeping him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he'll stay with the Leafs, and the Leafs will make it to the second round.
You think they're making it to the second round?
Yes, unless they're playing Boston.
Well, of course they're gonna play Boston.
No, it's not guaranteed.
They're gonna play Boston though. Until the lockout, they're gonna play Boston. When Tuukka Rask retires, then yeah, they'll not play Boston.
2 years ago, I think no. It was the year the Pens won the Cup second. Was that 2 or 3? That was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, the Leafs played the Capitals. Of course, they lost, but.
Who do you think has the greatest odds of winning the Stanley Cup this year? I'd say San Jose, at least in the Western Conference.
I say
San Jose is the scariest team in the West.
I'd say yeah, San Jose's a possibility, and as long as they keep line 8, possibly the Jets. Canadian team.
That's an interesting take. Calgary's not going to be the same team.
And the Senators.
Can you shut up about the Senators?
I just want them to. They have Bobby Ryan. And Craig Anderson, but he's old, so who knows? He probably might even retire this offseason.
Yeah. I mean, in the West, it's definitely the Sharks, and that's a lot of pressure to put on.
And I think that the Blue Jackets, they lost pretty much everybody.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna. Oh. The Rangers are gonna do better than them. They still have.
That pains me to see that Columbus team.
They have left Cam Atkinson and Nick Foligno and Seth Jones.
Yeah, the first ever hockey game I watched was a Columbus Blue Jackets game. So and I think in that game, Panarin scored, and I think I've always had like. Panarin's always been like I've always thought of him as like a great player, really underrated. A lot more people. Like, in my opinion, he might be like a top 10, maybe top definitely top 15. But yeah, Sharks probably making it to the Cup final. Don't know who's gonna make it in the East. I'd want to say Tampa Bay, but know how that turned out. I mean,
will Sweep get in their head, or will they play good next year? Like, I don't think they can ever do as good as they did this year.
Remember, they got swept by a team that's not making the playoffs.
Yeah. That's when they
Columbus isn't making the playoffs.
That's when they had Bob Borowski, Duchesne, Panarin. Oh, yeah, Panarin's in New York. I forgot. So, yeah. I still don't think New York's going to make it.
I mean, if Rangers make the playoffs, I won't be surprised. But if they make it past the first round, I'll be a little surprised. I'm just really hoping that lockout. Like, it's just... I've never experienced hockey when there's a lockout. It's been a while since we've had a lockout. I think the last one was 2005. So, I don't know. It's definitely coming. It's coming soon. But, anyways, that pretty much wraps up the ASJ Podcast. Make sure to tune in next time when we're going to be with Nathan Van Zant and our discussions on the Champions League and other matters in the world of soccer. So, yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't upload. Yeah,
Mason can't post on Instagram right now, but we're trying to fix that. But, thanks for listening. Subscribe if you want to. Like if you want to. Follow us on Instagram. Yeah. See ya.